Well, hello there, my beautiful friends. So I have a bit of a different video coming at you today. Today we're going to be talking about my 5 top favorite makeup brands from Etsy. Etsy does not get enough love. These brands do not get enough love. So if you are interested in seeing swatches, descriptions, hearing about the products themselves and the brands, then go ahead and keep on watching and let's jump right on in. So this video idea was requested by a subscriber of mine legitimately like 6 months ago, so it's been kind of a while, but alas, I am fulfilling the request. I'm finally getting around to it. I feel like I've tried enough Etsy brands at this point to really narrow down which ones are my personal favorite and which products I feel are the best of the best here, the creme de la creme. So out of the 5 brands that I chose, I truly feel like all of these are on par, if not better, than brands that you can get from Sephora and from Ulta, and I feel like these products are unique to the point where I don't feel like you could purchase some of these types of textures and products from the more mainstream brands. You know, the whole point of shopping from Etsy is that you want to get something that's handmade, you want to get something that is unique and unlike anything you could get from a mainstream big name store. I mean, that's legitimately the entire purpose of Etsy. That's why anyone would purchase from their website. You want to get something that is unique enough to the point where you couldn't purchase it somewhere else. And in my personal opinion, these 5 brands that I picked out today and these products that I have to share with you are so unique that I don't feel like you could get other things like them from a place like Sephora or Ulta or Nordstrom or any big name brand like that. But basically for today's video, I have set up the Z palette in the way that I'm going to show you the brands. So this column right here is a brand, the second column is a brand. I basically have the 5 brands set out here in columns, and I'm just going to go over all of the products that I think are the most unique from that specific brand. I do have a few singles as well that I will be showing you towards the end, but I think that is more than enough chatter for an intro here, so let's go ahead and get into the most important thing, the thing you guys are here for, the Etsy brands. So we are kicking this off here with Enchanted Lustre Cosmetics. The shop owner's name is Ritu. She's from Melbourne, Australia, and her brand is cruelty free. So this first beauty right here is called Celestial Prism. This is one of her Prism shadows, which is basically like a super ultra foiled eyeshadow mixed with a pressed glitter, but it's not very chunky or anything like that, just super high shine. This is described as a peach, purple, and gold shifting eyeshadow, and honestly, I couldn't describe it any better than that. It is extremely shiny and super gorgeous. I haven't really been able to find anything else like it, and these shadows are just so creamy and buttery, and you know when you can just tell that an eyeshadow is really high quality just when you touch it? That's exactly how I feel about every single one of Enchanted Lustre's products that I've tried so far. Like, hello, look at that shine. That is the most angelic light baby pink I've ever seen with the most gorgeous sheen. I absolutely adore this shadow. This next guy right here is called Love Spell. This is another favorite of mine, but this is not one of her prisms. This is just a standard foiled eyeshadow from her brand. This is described as a duochrome golden peach swimming in a pool of red shimmer. Very creative way of explaining what the shadow is. To me, this shade kind of sits in between a satin and a shimmer. It's super frosty in my opinion, as you can see in the swatch there. It's not quite satiny, but it's also not quite shimmery. It just has this icy frostiness going on. It is so beautiful all over the lid. I absolutely adore it. Now, this next beauty here actually isn't an eyeshadow at all. This is one of her holographic luster pots, which is basically a pressed glitter. This is a hot pink pressed glitter with teal, green, and aqua sparkles. It basically just looks like Malibu Barbie in a pan. It is so stinking beautiful. It's really easy to use. It's not super Vaseline-y or anything like that, but it's also not super dry. It doesn't really create any fallout either, which is insane, but look at that shine and look at that color. Like, have you ever seen a pressed glitter that beautiful before? Because I don't think that I have. It is literally the epitome of Malibu Barbie and Barbie in general. I really love it. I think her pressed glitter formulas are gorgeous, or holographic luster pots as she calls them. I think they're really beautiful, and I think this is a truly unique eyeshadow. This next guy right here is called Pirate's Wine, and this is described as a foiled rust red. This is one of her just basic metallic eyeshadows. It's not one of her prisms or anything, but nonetheless, it's still really beautiful and still really high shine. You can see in that swatch there how foiled and how creamy these eyeshadows are. They just apply so smoothly to the eyes. I truly can't say enough good things about them because they are just so high quality, it's ridiculous. She did an amazing job with these. This last beauty here is one of her Prism shadows. I've shown this off a few times on my channel, but you might be seeing this for a second time, but it's not necessarily a bad thing because it is absolutely stunning to stare at. This is called Space Prism. It is a pink blue shifting foil, and apparently it was inspired by dragons flying in the night sky, which is really cute. But to me, this is more of like a MAC blue brown kind of scenario here. I think that just depending on the batch, some of these can turn out a little bit more blue brownish and some of them turn out a little bit more pinky blue brownish, if you will. But nonetheless, look at that shine and look at that duochrome shift. Space Prism is the epitome of duochrome perfection here. All of her eyeshadow formulas, whether it be satin, prism, metallic, regular metallic, whatever it may be, they are all so high quality and so shiny and stunning on the eyes. I cannot get enough of them. So now we're jumping into the second brand of the bunch today, and this is Lana Beauty Cosmetics. She is from Gold Coast, Australia, and her brand is cruelty free. Now, this first shadow is one of my absolute favorites, like hands down out of my entire collection. It's freaking stunning, but this is the shade Slumber Party, and this is a foiled cool baby pink. But the thing that makes Lana Beauty Cosmetics, it's an extremely long name, the thing that makes her foiled eyeshadows stand out from other foiled eyeshadows is the texture of these and the high shine quality of these. I don't think I've ever seen a foiled eyeshadow that has absolutely no glitter or no sparkle in it be this shiny. Like, look at that. Look how shiny the eyeshadow is. It is so incredibly foiled and smooth on the eyes. It's such a great formula, and it has no sparkle and no shimmer in it. It's just straight up foiled pigment inside of there. All of her shadows that I have tried have been like that, and I've been so impressed with every single one of them, including this fella, which is called Lavender. This is a foiled cool mid-tone purple, and this is the exact same formula as Slumber Party. You're going to get the same amount of shine with this, except it's just going to be in a deeper purple hue, which personally I love. But these are just so incredibly smooth, and I've never seen a foiled eyeshadow that has no sparkle in it be this shiny. Like, it is incredibly shiny in real life, and the pans are so beautiful. The way the product is pressed into these pans is just so aesthetically pleasing. Oh god, I forgot that I dropped it. I legitimately dropped that shadow and was looking for it for like 5 minutes until I realized that it was legitimately on my computer the entire time. It had fallen and dropped right on my laptop, and I had no idea. I was just running around like a freaking mad woman looking for my eyeshadow. Jumping into the next Etsy brand that I wanted to share with you guys, this is the brand Pretties for Your Face. Now, the shop owner's name is Meg, and she is from Bridgewater, Massachusetts. Now, this first shadow here, of course, is basically what eyeshadow dreams are made of, in my opinion. This is the shade Taffyta, and it's a metallic bright pink. Now, this is a metallic that has some shimmers and some glitters in it. They're not super chunky or anything. They're definitely finely milled. These are the kind of shimmers and glitters that are put in foiled eyeshadows to make them just so bright and shiny. I think this is such a fun and interesting color. You know me, I love me some pink. I love me some cool toned and some warm toned pinks. Now, Taffyta is definitely a bit more warm tone, a little bit more reddy, but it is so freaking stunning on the eyes, and it is such a creamy formula as well. This next shade I've shown off a few times on my channel as well, but like, hello, look at it. This is something that needs to be shown like 3 or 4, maybe even 5 times. But this is Crossette, and this is definitely a bit chunkier than Taffyta. To me, this is a metallic berry pink that has pink sparkles throughout it, and it's definitely a bit flakier of a formula. It's kind of interesting because in the pan it looks like it's going to be super deep, but then once you actually swatch it out and get it on the eyes, it's a little bit more sheer, so it does take a few layers to build up, but it is so sparkly and shiny and not chunky. I just love it so much. This next Etsy brand is kind of an infamous one. You guys might already know of Touch of Glam Beauty, but the shop owner's name is Amy. She currently is based out of LA, and she is vegan and cruelty free. Got the double whammy there. But this first eyeshadow I've shown a few times on my channel, but it is so stunning. This is on Fleek, and this is a duochrome white gold with gold sparkles running throughout it. I absolutely love this formula of eyeshadow that she came out with. These are basically soft duochromes that are super, super shimmery, which Lord knows I love me a good sparkle and a good shimmer, and these do not disappoint even in the slightest. I love this for a brow bone highlight and an inner corner highlight. Now, this next shadow is called Fantasy. This is the exact same formula. On Fleek and Fantasy are pretty similar in my opinion, other than the fact that Fantasy seems to have more of a pastel periwinkle purple undertone in it, but it still has the those beautiful golden sparkles running throughout the shadow, and I really like the pastel periwinkly purple kind of aspect to this shadow. It's not super prominent, but it gives a little bit of like a purpley tint on the eyes. I think it's just a really interesting shade. We don't see periwinkles very often or light cool toned purples very often, so I think that she captures something really interesting and unique in this shadow. Now this next guy I've shown quite a few times on my channel as well, and this is Sweet Nectar. This is a beige kind of tannish shadow that has a bit of a green, gold, and almost like a pinky kind of duochrome shift going on. There's a lot happening inside of this eyeshadow that I don't think the camera's gonna pick up on, but in person it is absolutely stunning. It's more of like a beigey green with just a tiny hint of pink. You're not gonna see that much pink, but in person there's just ever so slightly a touch of pink. It is absolutely beautiful all over the lid if you are working with, you know, warm toned browns and whatnot. It is so stunning all over the lid with a warm toned brown kind of fluffed throughout the crease. So this is a highlighter from Touch of Glam. This is called Fairy's Asylum, and this is a pale white gold with an iridescent green shift. This is so beautiful as an inner corner highlight and a brow bone highlight. If you have ultra pale, super porcelain skin, I think this would be beautiful on you, or maybe even lighter skin as well. I think it would be really stunning as a face highlight. This is a little bit too stark for me, but I love it as an inner corner highlight. Lord knows that I love me a good, bright, in-your-face, stripper-esque from the 80s type inner corner highlight. I have quite a few highlighters from Touch of Glam, but I just wanted to show my two favorites here, and this next one is Bling Bling Honey. I want to say that like Rich Lux every single time. Bling Bling Honey. You know what I'm saying? No? Not at all? Alright. But this is an ultra foiled mid-toned champagne. This is an exact dupe for the Amrezy highlight that they recently came out with. I own both of them. This is a little bit less gel-like. This is definitely more of a powdery formula, but the actual tone and the actual shine of this product is almost spot on. And we've reached my last Etsy brand. How are we already at the end? I don't get it. But this is Kristin Lee Cosmetics. The owner is named Kristin, of course. She is from Chicopee, Massachusetts, and she is cruelty-free and mostly vegan. So this first shadow here is, I think it's a highlighter, I'm not 100% sure. She describes it as a highlight or an eyeshadow, but nonetheless, this is Bling Supreme, and this is a soft pink with pink and gold sparkles. It doesn't look like that much on camera, but in person, it just has such a beautiful iridescence to it that the camera just really can't pick up. Okay, this is kind of embarrassing, but this is the shade Sorbet, or Sorbet, or however you say that word. I don't think this is from Kristin Lee Cosmetics. I figured that out after I had already filmed this and edited everything, so yeah, I don't know who this is by. It's really pretty. I mean, look at it. It's nice to look at, but I don't think it's by Kristin Lee. So Kristin, I'm sorry. I personally apologize. I love you nonetheless, and yeah, kind of uncomfortable, but yep, nothing to see here. Not by Kristin Lee, that's for dang sure. Okay, moving on. So now we've rightfully made our way back to Kristin Lee Cosmetics. Like I said, I'm sorry, Kristin. But this shadow is called Pastel Princess. This is a pale pastel frosty pink. To me, this is more of like a taupey frosty pink. It is super, super beautiful. I really like this shade because I don't really have anything else like it in my collection. It's definitely a pink, don't get me wrong, but it's more so of like a taupey mauve pink that just happens to be super, super pale. I've never seen anything like this before, and the shine on this eyeshadow is really beautiful. It has little micro shimmers in it as well, which of course I love. I think it's an absolutely stunning eyeshadow. Now this guy right here is called First Kiss, and this might look familiar because this is an almost identical dupe to Love Spell from Enchanted Lustre Cosmetics. So I am not upset at all that I happen to have basically the same shade from two different brands, because both of them are formulated so beautifully and they're just such beautiful, unique eyeshadows. So I'm gonna get a lot of use out of this. I don't mind having two pans of it. Alright my loves, now that I have shown you and swatched and described all of these products from my 5 favorite Etsy brands, you guys are going to have to let me know how you feel about these brands, and if you've tried them, or if there are some brands out there that I haven't tried yet that I personally have never heard of that I need to know about, because like I said, I am a huge supporter of indie brands. I am a huge supporter of Etsy brands just in general. Any brand where someone put the time and the effort in to make these beautiful quality products without having a parent company over top of of them looking down on them, critiquing everything they do, is so incredibly impressive to me. Like, I could literally never. I don't know how people are able to make these beautiful products on their own half the time and be able to sell them at such a great price point. But I'm not gonna question it because I absolutely love buying from these brands. I love that they are affordable and that they aren't super crazy expensive and don't always break the bank. And I think that these products are just truly unique. And I'm just so appreciative for how unique these products truly are. And I really feel like I can't really get anything else like this from a big name store. So I love supporting indie brands, and I guarantee if you are someone who has never tried anything from one of these Etsy brands before, or just indie brands in general, definitely give them a try. I implore you to do so because I truly think that you'll be able to find products that just blow your freaking mind as far as the quality goes. And I think you'll be able to find some really unique products as well. I would bet you $5 that you'll be able to find some really amazing products from Etsy and from indie brands just in general. But like I said, you guys are gonna have to let me know how you feel about these products, and if you've tried anything that I talked about today, or if there's a specific brand or product that you think I should try, let a girl know, because I am more than willing to try some new Etsy brands and to do some reviews here on my channel. But with that being said, if you enjoyed this video and you enjoyed learning about these Etsy brands, then I would absolutely love it if you gave me a big old thumbs up. And if you want to see more from me, if you want to see more of this mug, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below to stay in the loop with all of these indie and Etsy makeup brands. But I hope that you are having an absolutely amazing and beautiful day wherever you are, and thank you so much for joining me here today and spending your time with me. I hope to see you next time. Bye!